Mene Blessing is a serial entrepreneur, educator, business executive, visionary leader. He currently co-leads Inspire Africa for Global Impact Initiative as the board chair. He co-founded VetStack Limited, where he currently serves as the chief executive officer. As part of his work as a social entrepreneur, Blessing founded On Fire, leading the firm's management and steering the company towards being Nigerians leading unorthodox feeds manufacturer serving smallholder livestock farmers in the agri sector. He has worked in the agricultural sector, especially for 10 years, and possesses excellent writing and public speaking and communication skill. 8 years leadership and management experience. As an educator, Mene has worked as a teacher and trained facilitator for 6 years. Mene also served as a board director and vice president for Innovative Cooperative for Optimal Nutrition in Africa, ICON, and headquartered in Burkina Faso, and Secretary General of Quality Insect for Food and Feed Association of Nigeria, QIFFAN, an organization supported by USAID Nigeria and Markets 2 project. He has received awards and honors from University of Cambridge Institute of Sustainability Leadership, UK, University of Washington Foster School of Business, USA, and many more. He's the author of the best-selling book, The Winning Streak, 40 Proven Secrets on How I Raise Money for My Business and How You Can Do the Same. Many blessings, big purpose and mission in life is to help people, places, and is married and blessed with 2 kids, Nathan and Roxanne. He will be sharing with us on building impact, and he will be also be sharing some of his experience with us, how he has been able to make impact all over the years. So I'm going to unmute our trainer and speaker today. Is my own mentor. I call him my fundraising mentor. I've learned a lot through him. So you can unmute yourself, sir.
Hi, Daya. Good day, everyone.
Great, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Do you guys want my video on? I can do without the video anyway. So it's a great pleasure to be here and to be with everyone. Dayo, thank you very much for this wonderful summit and program, which you have made happen at such a unique time in our country's history and such a unique season in the lives of thousands of people across the country. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Um, so today I would want to share my story and also alongside share with you some um, ideas, strategies, and insights I believe could help each and every person listening to me today to help you unlock your ability to create impact, unlock your ability to go international, and unlock your ability to mobilize resources, which includes money and relationships, and every other necessary ingredient needed to make your visions and dreams become a reality. So first of all, I always like telling people that when I was growing up, I still remember years back when I was in primary school. Um, I remember the day, I think in primary 2, when I received my results. I actually thought I came second in class, but I think it was 28 out of 30. So I actually thought it was 30 minus 28 give you 2. So that gives you your position in class. Until I eventually found out that it was like second to last or so in the class. And I had an experience growing up where I was doing very poorly in school at the time. And fortunately for me, my dad managed to get me a very good education at one of the best private schools in town at that time. So I actually experienced a change. I went on from primary school to secondary school. Great journey all through. Ended up being one of the best students in chemistry, representing my school at the Oluwole Awukoya Memorial Competition in the state. And then I eventually pursued a degree in veterinary medicine at the Ahmadu Bello University Zaire. Uh, I think in my second year or so, yeah, second or third year, I began to understand the concept of vision. I didn't know there was something like vision or impact or mission. All those things kind of look like what organizations do. They don't look like what individuals believe. So at that time, I actually got to know that I actually there's a purpose for my life. There's a reason why I'm on Earth. I'm not just on Earth um, by mistake. I'm not on Earth to get a job or to run a business. I'm on Earth to fulfill God's divine purpose for me. And uh, knowing that changed everything for me because at that point in time, I was just focused on being a scientist, a pure scientist. And so eventually I just told my dad, hey, I would love to just, I think my calling is really in the marketplace. And I would not want to pursue my degree in medicine anymore. I want to maybe study business or something. And then I would um, have a business that employs vet doctors, something like that, or empowers vet doctors. So eventually I transitioned to continue my study in chemistry and to graduate on time. While I was doing that, I began to pursue my purpose and began to, try to participate in business activities, business clubs, and all that on campus. And I was reading a lot of books. One of the people I listened to a lot at that time was one of the top leaders in Nigeria. So who really inspired me to, read a lot of books and, listen to a lot of great people. Um, but something happened in the course of my activities. I was doing everything, but I wasn't prospering. I was doing different businesses, but you're not having head at a point. I was just struggling, and that was when I began to realize that it's not about having an idea; it's about being able to raise money for your idea. Many of us have visions, many of us have dreams, many of us have businesses, NGOs, or projects we want to get done. And many times you realize that you don't have the money to actually implement what you have in your heart. And that was the difficulty I actually faced. Um, so because I was doing a lot of entrepreneurship programs and summits and conferences at that time, I actually had connections to a number of the speakers, most of whom were very wealthy people, very, very wealthy people. That was years back. So I remember reaching out to a number of them, trying to see how I could get resources. And I soon figured out that nobody was going to help me. And I know my parents will not help me because they'll say, oh, just go to school, graduate, get a job, and all that. So I was literally stuck. I had nobody to run to for money. I had nobody to reach out to for money. But I had God. I had God. And I just kept these things in my heart and in prayers and hoping that things would change one day. So the one day came after some years, was like 1 or 2 years later or so, when I was going to the community market on campus. I think most universities have community market, and I was trying to go and buy food um, for my lunch. And so that day I branched into the cyber cafe instead of because there's a cyber cafe in the community market very close to where they sell kose and cocoa. That's like pap and akara and fried potatoes. We take those things a lot in the north. at that time when I was in the north. So instead of buying that, I branded Cyber Cafe and I was browsing. So I came across a program called Dell Social Innovation Competition, DSIC, which was being sponsored by Michael Dell and the University of Texas at Austin at that time. So I applied and put in an application for that program. I mean, I was just sitting down in that Cyber Cafe.
Okay.
I think I bought 8 minutes or 1 hour, and then I tried to complete the application form. I think the time was not enough, but I gone like 70%. So I used the balance money to buy extra time. So I completed the application and submitted. Um, so that day I didn't take my lunch. However, about a month or so later, I got a reply from the organizers that I had made it to the top 100 in the world. Um, when I got that email, I think that email is just like when you have a gallon of fuel or you have a tank of fuel. Let me not use gallon because gallon is too small. You can imagine that place where they store fuel in most filling station. It's kind of underground. You see all those big truck, they come, they put the fuel underground in most of the filling station. Now imagine if you take a matches. hmm? Okay, somebody now imagine if you take matches and you strike a match and throw it inside a fuel tank on the ground in the filling station. You know what is going to happen, right? The filling station is going to explode, right? So when I got that email, it was exactly the same thing that happened to me. Something exploded in my spirit, in my mind, in my body. And for the first time in my life, I knew that this was possible. Many people may not understand, but at that time, there were like over 2,000 teams in the world. And some of the teams that applied, they people from Stanford, Harvard, Yale, some of the best universities in America, in UK, in Japan, Asia, India. So to be among the top 10, top 100 in the world meant a lot to me. And I was just, I mean, I just sat down and filled all the application in one sitting. So something just happened in my spirit. I was so excited, very excited. I was so happy. I mean, and I knew that, oh, so you have something, you're in Zaria in a very inconspicuous community. You have something that can compete on the global stage. And, after then, I continued to participate in the program. I made it to the top 50. And then from the top 50, we had to have like the top 10 in the world. The top 10 will fly to the US. So I think between the top 50 and the top 10, I mean, at that time, I was so broke that I didn't even have a laptop. And back then, laptop was a very big thing. Not like now. Like it was a very big thing then. And so I borrowed a friend's laptop to do part of the DSIC assignment and submit. And I remember finishing that work around 4 a.m. in the morning. I was in the Department of Chemistry that day when I finished the work. So I was supposed to return the laptop, but it was too early to return the laptop at that time. So I had to wait for like 6 a.m. so that I can take it to the hostel. So I just like let me put my head down so I can sleep for an hour or two and then return the laptop by 6 a.m. or so. And brothers and sisters, I slept there with the laptop near me. I woke up around 6 a.m. as I had planned, but behold, the laptop was gone. The only thing they left for me was the charger. So the laptop charger was what was with me. So by 6 a.m. when I was supposed to return somebody's laptop, I was going back with only charger and with a debt on my head to go and pay back. Unfortunately, I didn't even make it to the top 10, so it was so painful. But and then I had to start begging the person. Laptop was a big thing in Zaire then. That I don't know who stole the laptop. I reported it to university security. They did everything they could do, but they couldn't retrieve the laptop. So that was how that passed. I'm sharing this story to let you know the journey I went through, and so that you can actually trace the same path in your life and see that some of the difficulties you face or the challenges you face are normal. They are part of the process, right? they're actually part of the process. So bottom line, I didn't win that year. I could not pay for the laptop because the laptop I didn't have the money to pay, so I had to keep begging. I'm paying, like I tried to pay in small deposits, didn't work. So I think about a year or so later, I came across the Global Social Entrepreneurship Competition Program organized by University of Washington, and I decided to put in for that program. So I took 1 year to prepare for that program. Because some of those programs, when you see the question, you don't even understand what they're talking about. So I researched on each of the questions, learned a lot about it, knew what the right answers were. I studied most of the champions in the world at that time, blah blah. And at the end of the day, I pitched. I put in for GSEC. Same thing happened. I sat down in the morning by 10 a.m. on the deadline. By 4 p.m. in the evening, I was done with the entire application and I submitted. And I submitted the application and I was waiting for answers. I was waiting for the result to come out. By the grace of God, the result came out um, exactly 2-3 months or so afterwards. I made it to the top 16 in the world, the top 16 in the world. And something broke in my heart. I went to the US for the first time in my life. I saw how things were being done, and I just knew that there was something that was possible in our lives. The idea I used at that time was an idea called blocks. It was about a project that helps. I built a technology or an algorithm that allows you to state your goals and aspirations, and the algorithm will select opportunities, scholarships, competitions, and share it with you. Something like that. So it's kind of like a matching algorithm. So that was what I used. I went in for that program. I did not win, but I applied again the following year. The following year, I applied again with my idea on animal feeds, and by God's grace, I won. And that was the only time a Nigerian team won in the history of the program until it ended. That was the only time an all African team came first position in the world. And I returned back to Nigeria. I had prize money. The prize money I got was what I used to start my first real life business. And I would say that winning that competition taught me something, that it is possible for you to have ideas, dreams, and visions, and and those dreams and visions will come to pass. They are legitimate, number one. Number two, even if you do not have connection to a millionaire, or you do not have a connection to a rich family member, it is possible for you to break out in life. It is possible for you to break out in life from where you are right now. All right. So I share that story to really encourage you. After then, I began to win a number of international programs. I got financing. As I won them, I got financing. One of the recent ones was about a year or so ago. My company got $250,000. That's $250,000 from Google, which we currently use to build a software for the veterinarians in Nigeria, and we're also launching a telemedicine platform for vet doctors in Nigeria. And so for me, not only have we received the kind of financing we need to accomplish our dreams, my dreams and vision, but I've also gotten the kind of partnerships I look forward to. I've also been able to attract the kind of networks that could really help me to make these things possible, to make these things impact the lives of people. And I would say to each and every one of you here that irrespective of the dreams you have, there is actually no limitation. There is no limitation on your dreams, and anything is possible. Anything is possible. Let's take, for example, let's say you have a dream to set up a company that repairs generator, right? And this company that repairs generator, probably you need 2 million naira, or let's even say 50 million naira to start it up, right? I want you to know that it is actually possible. It is actually possible. So I'm going to leave a number of my time to answer questions from you guys. But I felt that I should share with you my story. And from my story, there are some key principles you can pick from my story. The number one lesson you can pick from my story is that you should not be limited by your educational background, right? You should not be limited by your educational background. Do not allow your educational background, your educational qualification, whether you have a first class, second class, 2-1, 2-2, or polytechnic certificate or YX certificate, do not allow it place a lead or a limit on your life. Do not allow it at all. Do not allow it at all. Another thing you can pick from my life, another lesson you can learn from my life is what I would call growth and fixed mindset. Some people, when they face challenges, they give up. Some people, when they go through trials, they give up. Some other people, when they face challenges or when they face trials, they learn the lessons, and then they use the lessons to move further. One of the stories that I love so much is the story of Abraham Lincoln. You know, in the Nigerian context, you would say Abraham Lincoln ran for local government chairman, failed. Then he ran for House of Assembly, failed. Then he ran for governor, he failed. He used the lesson for his governorship race, ran for senatorial, failed. Used it to run for vice president of America, he failed. Then he now ran for presidency. It was when he ran for presidency he won. So we need that kind of spirit that allows us to, learn from our mistakes, our failures, and take it and attempt something bigger. And that's the second lesson you can pick. Number three um, is that um, God is the sustainer of our destinies. God is the sustainer of our destinies, not man, not man. If you hope on man or you rely in man, ah, things will not work out the way you plan because man always fails and man is limited. But if you rely on God, God will use men to help you. Do you understand? So make your plans based on your trust in God, based on your trust in God, based on your faith in God, knowing that it is God that uses men as channels to reach out. Do you understand? So you pray to God and God will use a man to help you. Do you understand? But don't hope directly in the man. Let it be God moving the hearts of people in line to favor you. Do you understand? So that's something else. Number four thing you can learn from my life is that you should attempt international things. The reason why many of us are struggling or continue to struggle is that we're trying to be local champions. So I always tell people if you look at someone like Joseph in the Bible, I know there are people from other religions here too. There are people when you read about Joseph. Joseph was, I think, from Israel, and but his destiny was in Egypt, right? You look at Abraham was born in Hor, but his destiny was not in Hor, of the Chaldeans. If you look at Daniel, Daniel was born in Israel, but his destiny was not in Israel; it was somewhere else. Many times we try to be the local champions. We want to win in our village. We want to be the chairman of our local government. We want to just stay in our family. We want to stay in our comfort zone. Whereas, if you could only attempt something international, if you could only attempt something national, your destiny would explode positively. So one of the issues many of us might be facing would be we're still limiting ourselves. We're like those fish in aquarium. We just want to stay in a small place, and then in a small place there's so much competition, so you need to attempt doing big things. So that's the fourth thing. The fifth thing again is like you need to do big things. You need to attempt big things. How does someone who is going to buy cocoa and kose decide to apply for an international program? It's not normal, right? So the same thing happens. I can see Steven is on his bed, and I see different people on the Zoom call and all that. And what I can say to you is, like, wherever you are in any part of the country, make sure you attempt something international. Even if you fail or succeed, it doesn't matter, but just attempt. Participate in projects where you have people from different countries. Do you understand? Don't just stay in your local in your local base in Ibadan or in Kaduna or wherever you are listening to this call in Enugu. Don't stay there. Try to attempt something international. If you're a mechanic and you're on this call, try to look for opportunities for that mechanics have internationally. You know, try to do something international. Something else you can learn from my story, right? Is that, you know, when I taught you about how I, you know, did not get it the first time, did not get it the second time, but the third time, I won the international prize for the global social entrepreneurship competition. So sometimes you might not get there in 1 year or in 2 years. I know everybody wants to be a millionaire. Everybody wants to be a billionaire fast. But everybody's destiny is different. Let me just put it that way. Today now, I heard that the former CEO of Zappos died from a fire incident. You know, you guys don't know that guy's story. That guy built a company from almost nothing to become. They sold that company for $1 billion to Amazon. When I heard it, I was not happy at all. But he died at I think wasn't up to 50. You know, and you know, as I was thinking, I was like, this life, you know, only God knows the future of everybody, right? So some people are hurrying to be rich, they want to be billionaires, whatever, at the youngest possible age, you know, and all those things without taking into cognizance that there is a process. You know, there's a process to these things, you know. So I would just say, as much as possible, be patient. Do not weary yourself trying to get rich. Just take things easy, you know. Just be content with what you have, and just strive for significance as much as you can. um yeah, so I think I would like to pause here so that I can take questions from you guys.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you for those insights. Thank you for those concepts. Thank you for those ideas that you are sharing with us. So this is the meat of this section where you are going to be asking your questions. So if you want to ask question, please raise up your hand. If you want to type your question, please do right now. Ogale say, whoa, thank you, sir. So if you have questions, please quickly drop your questions. Drop your questions. If you want to talk, raise up your hand. Okay, we have Emmanuel. So Emmanuel, you are live. You can ask your question. Please unmute yourself. Emmanuel, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, while you do that, let's have Victory. Okay, Emmanuel is live now. Okay.
Program was going well. I just came in now, and I know I heard some of the things. I was thinking about is there no strategical means of getting a loan without all these steps? Because all these steps they're not assured, they're not 100% sure. So I think I mean I was kind of asking myself, is there no 100% sure way of getting a grant? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, your question is how to get a loan, right?
Yes, I mean a 100% sure way because the second one, trust in God, like it's not a sure way of, but yeah, it's sure somehow, but it's not the right way because God might entrust somebody your blessings and the person might deny it. You understand?
Okay. So what you are saying is 100% sure way of getting a loan or 100% sure way of raising finances,
Yes, a grant.
raising funding. Okay. Okay. So you can answer that, sir. 100% sure way of raising funds,
Okay,
like loan.
thank you very much, Emmanuel, for that question. So if you're going to raise a loan, yeah, there are different conditions attached. And number one, a loan comes with interest. So, and different banks or financiers would offer you different interest rates from one digit, which is anything from 0.001 to anything 9% or 9 point something percent. Then some offer two digits, like most of the banks, which might be up around 20 something to 30%. Most of the deposit money banks, all right? Now, number one, you need to be very sure the type of business you want to run is the loan is the best form of that we call it debt. Debt is the best form of financing for that project. Now, once you're sure, you also have to be sure about the mathematics. So, I usually ask people to tell, oh, what type of business do you want to run that you need loan for? So, for some people, they are trying to look for money to finance contracts. Now, if you are trying to, let's say you're into corn farming and you're trying to supply your corn to Nestle to buy, so you all you need to do is to get an LPO from your purchaser, and then you tender the LPO to your bank to give you a guarantee. So that guarantee given by your bank can be used to finance the LPO. So when the bank is paying, when the company is paying you, they will pay to the bank's account, like your account with that particular bank that borrowed you the money. Do you understand? So that way you don't need to bring money from your own pockets to finance the loan. You know, and you don't really need collateral because the LPO gotten from the company who is your purchaser helps to is a credit worthy document that you can use to finance your purchase. So that is a 100% sure way of getting a loan. In fact, most a lot of very successful businesses use that a lot to finance their businesses, from farms to oil contracts to grain supply. Those are like I mean the opportunities are limitless. When it comes to loans, and I hope that that answers your question.
Okay, what about for people that are just starting? What will be your advice to them? They want to raise funds, but they don't know how to go about it, and they are looking for 100% sure way of funding their
Yeah,
business.
again, yeah. So it's the same thing I just said. If you're looking for 100% sure way to get a loan, that's how to go about it. You need to be trying to supply a good to someone, or the person who you're supplying has to give you an LPO. So how it works? Let me explain how it works. So let's say Nestle or Unilever needs let's say 1,000 tons of corn from you. That will be like about 35 trucks or so of corn from you. All right. You're going to go to Nestle and say, hey, I can supply you 35 trucks. All right. Nestle is going to give you a document called an LPO. That LPO guarantees that Nestle would pay you X amount of money for 35 trucks of corn. All right. Sorry, I might soon leave you guys now. But let me try to see in case I go off. So Nestle will give you that LPO. There's a document called an LPO. They will give it's a local purchasing order. You take that LPO to your bank. Your bank is going to verify that document with Nestle. All right, and your bank would also provide like a bank guarantee. All right. So that bank guarantee is what is used to pay the people who will supply you the corn that you are using to supply to Nestle. All right. So the bank finances that transaction with a loan. So that is 100% sure way of getting a loan. And there's no excuse to say, "Oh, I'm starting small. Give me an idea." Most of us, our idea of starting small is to have a shop or something small. You can start small with 100 trucks. You can start small with 30 trucks. You can start small with 1,000 trucks. It's just the level of your thinking that matters. So some people start small, it's just 100,000, 1 million, 2 million only. But if you do you know that you can actually have a big idea for, like, okay, I want to do 20 million or 50 million worth of business, and that is also starting small. So your destination is what matters. Do you understand? So there's actually, it's just really about the quality of your thinking. Now, if it has to do with grants, I have gone through my book. I have a book called The Winning Streak, where I explain how to raise money for your company, and I've gone a lot in detail in that book. So that book would guide you step by step on how to raise money. Grants is the one you don't pay back, on how to raise a grant for your company. So I would suggest you get that book. But once it has to do with loan, and you want 100% guarantee for a loan, then you need to have an LPO and a bank guarantee. So that is what would finance it. In fact, most of these oil companies you hear about, that's what they do. That's what they do. They do LPOs. They get bank guarantees to finance their transactions. And you can actually attempt exactly the same thing, but you need a purchaser. As the person you are supplying that good to must give you an LPO, which means is that you have a contract with that company to supply X amount of thing. They would specify the criteria and everything. All right. So let me see if I can take one more question
Okay.
finally.
Yeah, this person says my challenge with all these international things is age barriers because most of the training for youth is for age below 35. How can one beat some of those barriers?
Yeah, for some of them, you literally can't do anything about it. It's the fun that there's a reason they want people of a particular age. Something you can do would be maybe if you have a kid or a younger brother to work with them and apply through them. That's something you probably can also do. Um, if there's a will, there will be a way. So you don't need to lie. You can just if you have your brother who will join you in that business as a partner or as a staff, you can apply through them. Let's have
Okay,
one.
great. Let's have a female to talk. Elizabeth, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Elizabeth,
Okay. Good good evening.
Yeah,
yes, good
you lose
evening.
me, know that I'm gone. And so I'm actually you lose me, know that I'm gone. Okay.
Okay. You mentioned something about how you partnered with someone that you actually that has been your plan or your dream. You got a partnership. Can you please throw light on that for me?
Which partnership are you talking about?
Okay. As you we are discussing, you say you really wanted to win something and you were able to kind of had to partnership with I don't know who you did.
No,
You
no,
did
I
not
didn't
really go
partner
into
with anyone.
details.
What I actually did when I wanted to win was to study other winners. Like, what are other winners doing? So it's a little bit
Okay.
similar to the question someone asked about how to raise 100% money. What you do is that you study other people who have
Okay.
raised 100% loan, guaranteed, and that's what they do. They get LPOs, they get bank guarantees. So probably some of you don't know about it, but those are two wonderful instruments you can use to finance absolutely anything. Anything, like from next week, say you can even get a loan if you have those documents. So the same thing
Mhm.
applies. If you want to do, when I wanted to win, I studied other people who have won those things, see how they communicate, see how they implement their projects, see how they report. Just did a lot of study on them, and I was able to
Mm.
replicate the same process. I call it the spirit of championship.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
Let's
okay.
take
Thank you
one
so
more.
Thank,
much.
thank you for that. Somebody has a question here that he has been trying to help people because he has a lot of people, poor people around that he has been helping, but he discovered that he needs more fund to achieve this. I say, how do I go about it?
Yeah, so probably you want to do a grant. I have a protege in Ibadan called Adereni. Adereni runs a company called Help Mom. He's doing a great work. He's helping a lot of women in Oyo State who are going through health crisis. I think they just built a health cafe also somewhere in Oyo State. So you have to package yourself, package your vision. You have to consult that your Ibitoye, business hub, where they write business plans and grant proposals. And you have to package yourself very well and put in an application. unfortunately, because of COVID-19, this year a lot of things people did not fund projects. But I believe that from next year they will start funding. And if you read my book, you will see that there is a way to prepare ahead of time for next year so that you can package what you have already done before. Maybe you have helped 10 people, you package it now that this is what you have done so far because people want to hear what you have done already. And then you now say, okay, I need $100,000 or $50,000 or I need XYZ. And then they will now support you. Do you understand? So you have to package yourself, and get, if you can't do it yourself, you get an expert like Dio to help you out. So that's how it works, and you pay for the service. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's. I don't know if you still have more time. You can take one or two more.
Yeah. If I go off, I'm off. It's just probably my phone
Okay,
just.
okay. Let's have Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. I think Emmanuel has asked his own question.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity for this seminar again. I so much I'm in love with it. There's one thing he said. He talked about the LPO. Nowadays, let's come to reality now. In this Nigeria now, okay, especially here in Abia State, because I'm calling from Abia State, I have this idea of branding some of the local drinks. I said it here one day. Local drinks like Zobo, Kunu. I don't normally give these ideas out because it's been in my mind since April
Yeah, the
or so.
question. What's the question?
So the thing is that when I go to bank now, and as for the LP, banks don't nowadays they don't help startups. They don't give startups. You must
Yeah.
have some kind of qualifications before you can get a grant or an LPO you talked about. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I'm saying my question is why what if that's the situation, how do we get a grant or a loan or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like I said, every fund that has their priority area. Bank of Agriculture funds agricultural ideas. Bank of Industry funds industrial ideas and all those things, right? So you need to find the type of funder that can fund you. Unfortunately, most people will not fund packaging of stuff. I have a friend who does something similar. You know all these MTN SIM and Glow SIM. They are the ones who create, I think, packages for all those things, all those SIM cards, if you see all these drugs in pharmaceutical stores, they create the packages, So companies are doing that already. You need to learn from those guys. They already have a way. In fact, you don't need the machines. I learned that some of the big companies who do that, some of them are in Lagos, and they usually have extra space because they are not using the machines 24/7. So most of your work actually has to do with getting contracts from the companies. It's not about you need money for something. It's about who is going to buy your product. Who are you solving a problem for? That's what I talked about in the winning streak, my book. The problem. You need to focus on the problem. Okay, you want to do branding for someone who's selling Zobo or Kunu. They cannot pay you. They cannot pay you. But if you tell me that you want to do branding for MTN, I am interested in your idea because your client is a rich person. Most times we are all trying to help poor people. You're trying to help poor people. If you keep doing it, how do I put it so that it's not
Yeah,
offensive? If you're trying to build a business for people that have money. So that when you have money, you make a 10 million naira, or $10 million, you can dash as much as you want to the poor. So if you want to do branding, look for companies in Abia, Hero. I think there's a beer called Hero beer or something. Look for the manufacturing companies in that area or big companies and get them as your client. Don't be talking about Kunu or Zobo. Because if you go to the bank, they will just pursue you. Right? But if you come in and say, "Oh, I've discussed with the CEO of Guinness also or Guinness in the East, and I want to create the label for their stuff. I need financing." You are saying something, right? And the company that you got the contract with can give you an LPO to say, "Okay, supply us 1,000 cartons of labels. Each carton should have 5,000 labels that we can gum on our Guinness bottles." So that is the kind of thing your bank manager wants to hear. If you're talking about Zobo, Kunu, all these things that the people will not give you money. I'm just telling you the truth. Even the bottle that they are using to package us, they don't even pay. They collect free ones, price the thing down. So you need to focus on rich clients, people with money, because no matter what you do for the poor, they will not be able to pay you. You have to dash them the labels or the packaging at the end of the day. So I'm challenging everybody on this call. If you are thinking of loan, thinking of business, don't be thinking of poor people as your customer. You might be from a poor background, but once you want to do business, think about the people in this community that have money. What can I do to serve them? Right? And then go and talk to them and say, I want to create packaging. So your work is to get contracts, not to get a loan. When you get the contracts, somebody say, okay, I'm giving you a contract of 10 million. Can you do it? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. You don't have the money. You collect the LPO or the contract document. You take it to your bank. That is what the bank wants to see. The bank will call the company. Did you give this guy contract, this company contract to supply you 10 million naira worth of this? Yes. The bank will give the person who you're going to pay that money. Maybe you're spending 8 million on that contract. The bank will now raise the guarantee and pay them. They'll produce the thing, you supply your people. When your 10 million naira is paid, they'll pay it into that account. The bank will collect their 8 million or 8.5 million, including interest. You take your 1.5 or 2 million out. So the thing is that we need to think like rich people. Let me put it that way, right? Don't always, once it comes to business, don't always think of the poor. It's when you want to dash money, you want to do non-profit, that you think of the less privileged. Once you want to do business, you don't think of the less privileged. Think about people that have money. Do you understand? Think about people that have money. When you go to markets, you see the way all those market women or guys, they'll be dragging you because you have money. If you don't have money, they won't look at you. So once you're thinking about loan or so, the people you are talking to are looking, their job is to get the money back from you. It's not to dash you. So when you are going there, you better go there with something solid. Don't go there, I have an idea to do so thing. They will not listen to you. What they want to hear is that I have a contract to supply XYZ, my product to so company. This is the document. They can confirm independently. You need them to finance that deal. Do you understand? So that's why I talked about LPOs, bank guarantees, and deal with rich people, guys. Deal with rich people. Poor people will not give you money, eh? Let's take one more.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, somebody say, what if one has an idea to build a device which will impact everyone, but it cannot be built in Nigeria? What should such a person do?
Yeah, you build a prototype. So I had somebody like that who wanted to build like a hair weaving device for women and all that. And what I said is like those are like the simplest things to do. What you do is that you go to who are you building this device for? Who is your customer? What problem? You go and prototype it. You prototype it, use crude method. Even if the device is going to be as big as a car, right? When it's supposed to be as small as a phone, just prototype it and demonstrate it that it works. Also, then that is what people will finance. Do you understand? The issue is if it is a drawing on your book or somewhere, nobody will finance that thing. But you must run a test. You must get actual customers, actual users, so that you can even modify all the mistakes you make it on that prototype. So go and look for go online. Dio, there's a book I shared one time on IDEO,
Yes.
prototyping guide. You remember? Please share it with this person.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Dio, please share it with him so that he can use that as a guide to guide him on how to produce that thing locally. You must prototype. You must understand your customers. It's not about your product or loan or all those things. It's about your customers. What problem are you solving for? What problem do they have that you are trying to solve? And you must be very clear about who your customer is and what problem you are solving for. Because once you do that right, every other thing will follow. Do you
Okay.
understand? Yes. Let's take one
Great.
more.
Okay, let's have victory. You can mute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yes. Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, but your background is noisy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Yeah, my question is that someone that has a business idea,
Can you lower your TV set?
eh?
Or can you lower your TV set or the
Okay,
background noise? Maybe you move away from. Yes.
okay, sir. Yeah,
Okay, ask a question.
can you hear me now? Yeah, I have
Yes.
business idea. I'm a producer. I do liquid soap, organic soap, and organic cream. And from the environment where I am, the community, they like my products gradually as I improve daily. But my challenge is that when I don't have labor, no money to produce labor, and no money to buy in large quantity. So when I buy in small quantity, I'm eating out of it. No, just like walking from hand to hand. And CAC registration. Now without CAC registration, can someone produce label? Can I put label on my product and go and sell?
Okay. If I get your question clearly, you are saying that you have a business
Yes,
and you are already selling, right?
yes.
So what do you sell?
Liquid soap,
Liquid soap. Okay, very good. So you now want to put label and start selling, right?
Isa.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
even organic soap. This Ghana black soap needs it. Put carrot powder, turmeric powder, and organic things that make it look fresh on the skin.
Okay, very good. I will answer your question in the next section by 6:30. Our mentor is off now. The section is off, so and his phone is off, so it's all these are called now. So in the next section, that is my section. In the next section is where we will learn how to access grants, loans, business opportunity, all the loans that are in Nigeria right now that you can apply for. I will take that through in my next session. I will show you practical websites to go. Some people are asking for websites where you can get grants opportunity, loans opportunity. Some of you says you don't have how to buy Many Blessings book. I will share with us in the next section. If you want to buy Many Blessings book, you can private chat me. I will drop my phone number now. Just chat me up on WhatsApp. 08060779290. Anywhere you are in Nigeria, chat me up. Just say I want to uh, buy Many Blessings book on how to access grants, loans, any funding. I believe we all can see my number now. 080. Let me project it for you. Just chat me on WhatsApp, and I will be able to do that for you. Let me use this on current slide. Okay, I believe you can all see my slide. Uh, I'm not sure you people can see my slide. Let me share the screen for you. Just give me a seconds. Okay. So shut me up on 08060779290 if you want to access Many Blessings book. My next section is 6:30, and I'm going to take that section. If you have been looking for ways to finance your business all these years you have not seen, by next section your problem will be solved finally, because that is the core of what I'm going to take us through in this section. Before we close this section, we want to take a group picture. So um, open your video. We want to take a group picture now. Open your video, everybody, before we end this section. By next section, free CAC registration in Nigeria. I will open it up for you. How to get grants, loan, how to get different supports. I will open them up for you. So we want to take a group picture now, and we are good to go. Some people have not opened their video. Want to take a good picture so that it's a memory that we treasure and appreciate that you are part of this summit. By 6:30 is the final section. 6:30 to 9:30 is the final section for this summit, and it's going to be powerful. If you know people that have not joined all this while, tell them not to miss the evening section. So our people are already taking the screenshot of this section. So just give us like 2-3 minutes. So 6:30 West African time. So you can convert that to your time and know when to join us. So hold on, we are taking the screen. Okay, great, very good. Just hold on. By evening, by next section, we'll be introducing our volunteers that have been working all this while for this summit. We'll also show pictures from our viewing center in different parts of Nigeria. We'll show pictures from them. And by next section, it is going to be a lot of sharing with us different opportunities that young people can benefit from all over the world, not just from Nigeria alone, and all that. So we want to appreciate you for staying in Nigeria. We want to say thank you very much for joining for this section. We would have been loved to be with you live, but you are also watching us live right now. So we want to appreciate all of you for this opportunity to impart you through this summit. This is the 9th edition, and because of the coronavirus, we have decided to make it a virtual edition. In subsequent edition, it has been a physical event. So we want to appreciate you all. So any question that is not answered now, by 6:30, I'm going to answer all your questions. And I'm also going to share some insight from Mene Blessings book. Our mentor that just left now, he is our fundraising mentor. He has raised funds in millions of dollars. So by next section, I'll be sharing from his book how he has done it, some strategy he has used over time, and all that. So thank you very much as we end the first section today. So Basi, so for Mene Blessing section, how was it? In one comment, let's just drop it. How was the section? In one comment, how was the section? How was the section? Fantastic. Austin says fantastic. Joan said all sessions were amazingly good. Joan, we appreciate you from where you are coming from. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We are glad that you are here with us. Thank you. It was inspiring, SSL, inspirational, eye-opening, and all that. So thank you very much. As the final section by 6:30 West African time, we join again, and let's invite more people in this final section. Gibran said, great, it was powerful and impactful. We are glad that you are impacted by these sections. Thank you very much as we end the first section. Thank you.